Baikal class and Marconi class. Mobile subspace transmitters represented a revolutionary leap in interstellar communications, even before the United Earth Stellar Navy, UESN, transitioned from a defensive war to an offensive war. Timely and reliable communications between frontier units and fleet commanders was essential. After its launch in 2157, the Marconi-class subspace communications cruiser, ACSM-6, played a vital role in the offensives into Romulan-held space. These ships were made possible by the pioneering but flawed Baikal class of the late 2140s early faster-than-light communications. Although faster-than-light FTL starships had, by 2154, been used by Earth for nearly a century, sending messages at similar speeds was a different matter. Early subspace transmitters, which were first deployed in the 2110S, were extremely large. The transmitter generator had volumes of more than 60,000 ME cubed, and transmitter dishes spanned 200 M or more. Power requirements were correspondingly enormous to send a message over interstellar distances. As a result, a mobile subspace transmitter remained impractical for all but the shortest-range transmissions. For a more detailed treatment of the early development of subspace transmitters, see the article on the Hyperion class. In contrast, the equipment needed to receive a subspace message was small enough to be easily mounted on most warp-capable starships. Because starships could receive messages transmitted from Earth or another base but could not respond in kind, an alternate method of FTL communication was required. The most practical method for sending ship-to-ship and ship-to-shore messages was the warp message torpedo. These small, unmanned craft, typically about 5 m long, had a maximum speed of WF5 and a range of 10 Li. Although traditional radio limited to light speed was useless for long-range communications, most ships, even today, still carry equipment for transmitting radio signals, primarily for emergencies and for ranges of less than 2 AU. Warp message torpedoes provided an acceptable, if less than ideal, solution to the problem of rapid interstellar communication. Messages could be delivered in a matter of weeks instead of months or years, and at far less expense than dispatching a fully equipped starship. Both inside and beyond United Earth, UE territory, information was routinely relayed between ships and from ship to shore. However, the outbreak of the Earth-Romulan War exposed several critical flaws in the message torpedo system. First, torpedoes could not deliver intelligence on Romulan movements in a timely manner. To defend UE colonies, UESN commanders needed to be informed of the location, strength, and movements of the Romulan fleet. If a UESN warship patrolling the frontier detected an enemy ship, its captain would dispatch a message torpedo to its command base before engaging the enemy. In most cases, the engagement would be long over by the time the message reached the command base. Depending on the size of the enemy force, the fleet commander would be forced to dispatch additional ships without knowing the outcome of the patrol ship's initial encounter. A second, related drawback to the message torpedo system in wartime was the difference in time needed for ships on patrol to receive messages from base and for the base to receive messages from the ships. Command bases would send out orders by subspace to warships that were no longer on their patrol stations or that had been destroyed by the Romulans. Sometimes these orders were already obsolete if the frontier units had obtained more recent or detailed information. Thus, UESN captains were necessarily granted broad authority to interpret their orders as the situation dictated. However, this independence also made it difficult to coordinate a unified defense against the Romulan invasion. The third, and potentially most dangerous flaw, was the potential for messages to be intercepted by the enemy. Although message torpedoes were guided by an onboard computer system, they were incapable of elaborate evasive action due to their small size and the limited fuel supply. If a message torpedo were intercepted by a Romulan warship, the torpedo would automatically self-destruct. However, interception or self-destruction meant that the information the torpedo carried would not reach its intended recipient. To increase the chances of a vital message evading any enemy forces, a warship commander could launch multiple message torpedoes along different routes back to base. Finally, a warship could only carry a limited quantity of message torpedoes. A warship could quickly exhaust its supply during a combat mission when messages were dispatched rapidly or to multiple coordinating ships. Introduction of mobile subspace transmitters. The first starship to be equipped with a subspace transmitter was U.S. Baikal ACS-1 in 2146, a Bison-class transport modified to carry a short-range subspace transmitter. The equipment took up approximately 25,000 cubed of internal volume and required a 120 m diameter antenna to be mounted on the ventral hull. The subspace transmitter drew its power from the main fusion reactor, but required so much power that it could not be active while the ship was traveling at warp. Despite the flaws of this platform, by 2150 subspace transmitters had been fitted to 4 more Bison transports, designated the Baikal class. Most of these early mobile transmitters were operated by the United Earth Space Probe Agency, USPA, which performed survey and exploratory missions. Up to 10 lie beyond the UE's borders. Because these missions often took place beyond the range of message torpedoes, called the Red Line by survey crews, ships might be out of contact with their home base for months or years. However, an accompanying subspace transmitter ship could maintain constant contact with the UE. Furthermore, the subspace transmitter could also be used as an active sensor array to identify potential survey targets from a much greater distance than possible with conventional scanners. Most long-range sensors of the era were passive due to the same limitations on FTL communications. A typical USPA expedition in the early 2150s was led by a surveyor, which carried short-range sensors, science laboratories, and a large complement of atmospheric shuttles for ship-to-surface operation. Accompanying the surveyor would be a deuterium tanker for refueling between star systems, a subspace transmitter ship, and occasionally a UESN escort cruiser. One notable expedition, including a Baikal-class ship, took place in 2155, when UES Tanganyika, ACS-3, participated in Earth's first contact with the Altair system. Although the UESN expressed interest in mobile subspace transmitters, it decided not to order an entire class. The UESN considered the ships too expensive to operate in most theaters, where only peacetime patrols were conducted. The UESN did operate one ship, UES Titicaca, ACS-5, as a sensor picket to provide early warning against Orion pirates that were raiding commercial traffic near the Libra colonies. However, everything changed when the Romulan War began in 2156. The 5 Baikal-class ships in service were reassigned to military operations along the border, where they served as command and control ships for patrol and defensive missions. The subspace transmitter was also employed as an active sensor array for detecting and attacking Romulan warships. However, because of the immense power demands of the transmitter, which required the ship to drop out of warp to transmit a message, Baikal-class ships were highly vulnerable to attack while the subspace transmitter was operating. History. UES Marconi finished construction in July 2157 and was immediately rushed to the front lines. Although they arrived too late to participate in the Battle of the Vela Gap, Marconi-class ships are credited with the early detection and interception of 5 Romulan task forces in their first 6 months of service. Marconi-class ships brought several immediate benefits to the battle space. First, a Marconi could accompany a frontier patrol force, often led by an Amarillo or Cresce-class cruiser, and provide continuous updates to the nearest command base concerning the force's location and disposition. When an enemy ship was detected, a warning could immediately be sent to all nearby ships by Subspace. If reinforcements were needed, they could also be summoned much more rapidly.
If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment telling me what you think about this video and share with friends. It will be appreciated. Thank you and have a nice day.